When I put my uniform on, I'm ready to help someone on the worst day of their life.
Oh. It's the ambulance here, mate.
As soon as we arrive, they just know they're in safe hands and that we're going to do everything we can to help them.
Does that feel better? Yeah?
I wouldn't have guessed you were 104.
I genuinely think laughter is the best medicine.
Let's go. Teddy wants to go. You're very brave.
To know that you bring someone that's very unwell to hospital and they get better. It's one of the best feelings in the world.
I promise I'll look after you.
Second to God, these people.
Let's get you in the ambulance, eh?
I feel really proud to wear this uniform and I feel really proud to be a paramedic.
Did the horse roll on top of her?
Somersault. Yep.
On this episode of Paramedics,
Let me know if you feel any severe pain down the centre of your spine.
a young equestrian's dreams are shattered when her half-ton horse crushes her in a sickening fall.
On the count of 3, we're going to lift.
One wrong move and Courtney could be paralysed. It would be absolutely devastating for her if she could never ride again.
Thomas, hello.
A father of 4 can't be roused after suffering multiple seizures.
We know that the less oxygen that they are getting, the worse the outcome. That can turn into a coma, which can then lead to death.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Cyprus.
Cyprus, very good.
And Chris and Sam need a holiday after looking after a proud Cypriot.
And the weather is good, and the beaches is good.
Good food?
Good food.
Yeah, I bet. Should we move to Cyprus? I think we should. Sounds really good there.
SA Ambulance Service, tell me exactly what's happened.
He's having a seizure. Can we get an ambulance on the ASAP?
At the Emergency Operations Centre, a caller is desperate for help for his unconscious neighbour.
Are you with him now?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to do a breathing test on him.
The father of 4 has suffered several violent seizures and is now barely breathing.
When I say go, I want you to watch him closely and tell me each time his chest rises, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, it's rising now.
Next one.
Yeah.
In the background, the man's frantic partner is trying to resuscitate him.
Is he breathing?
Let's go.
Intensive care paramedic Bill needs to reach the patient as quickly as possible before the seizures cause a critical lack of oxygen to his brain.
When you have a seizure, your brain's basically having like an electrical storm. Yeah, seizures can be potentially fatal.
They're one of our highest priority jobs, so the faster that we can get there and stop their seizure, the better it is going to be for them and their brain.
Nothing around the corner. Not way. Number 3.
Bill will lead the paramedic team already on the scene.
G'day. How you going, Laura? I'm Bill.
Hello.
How are we? How can I help?
This is Tom. Tom has epilepsy.
Okay.
He's had 4 seizures witnessed by the partner.
Cool.
Has then hit his head in the hallway.
As I walk through the front door, I'm greeted by about a 100-kilo bloke sitting in a chair with his partner holding his head, making sure that he doesn't fall off.
Well, if he's had 4 to potentially 5 seizures, are they tonic-clonic in nature, like these full-body?
It sounds from the description of the partner like it could be more.
Tonic-clonic seizures are a more aggressive type of seizure, and they can be quite violent as it involves all of your limbs moving around.
Let's pop a line in while he's still flat.
Bill urgently needs to set up an IV line so he can give Tom anti-seizure medication.
Responds quite abruptly to pain.
How abruptly?
Rushes around and becomes quite agitated, wanting to get off the chair and thrashing arms around with it.
Tom's partner Sarah came home from work to find the usually easygoing father in an uncontrollable rage.
He gets a bit angry.
He's never angry, so I don't know.
Okay, all right.
But he's getting very angry.
Okay, that's all right. I'm good.
There does come risk with putting in an IV line with someone who can lash out.
See if we can be as quick as we can.
I'm already on high alert that we're in a small space and that we're all within arm's reach of this patient if he does actually throw an arm or throw a kick.
Cool, so we've got 10 milligrams drawn up neat. Awesome. All right, bit of a scratch here, mate. Hopefully you don't move your arm.
So if this guy comes out of his unconscious phase and becomes quite aggressive, we know that he's not trying to do that on purpose. All he is doing is he's trying to reset his brain and he's quite confused. But that is definitely still a safety risk for us. He has already lashed out at his partner. We could be next in line.
All right, brother. I'm just going to help you now.
Prospect 5-1, acknowledge, priority 2.
It's the start of the shift for intensive care paramedic Hannah, and already it's down to business.
So we're on the way to a 29-year-old person who's fallen from a horse at an equestrian competition. So getting reports of some back and rib pain.
My concerns on the way are for the potential for serious spinal injury. Has the horse fallen on top of them? Have they come off at speed? Were they going over a jump?
They can still end up with some pretty severe injuries to the head. These are big, heavy animals. They can be stepped on, kicked.
Although I know this patient will likely be wearing a helmet if it's in a competition setting, that doesn't protect the neck. And horse riding accidents' worst case scenario is that some people have been paralysed from falls like this.
I actually have had a pretty horrific horse riding accident myself, so I can really sympathise with how this person might be feeling.
At just 14, Hannah was a track work rider at a local racecourse.
I was riding a racehorse and we've come off quite hard at a tree at top speed. I was knocked unconscious. When I woke up, I had extensive and severe fractures, including the left femur, my right arm, and my right elbow. I actually found myself in a wheelchair for several months.
I'm going to chuck the sirens off, given that there are people riding horses. We don't want to cause any further falls. See these big jumps? So this increases the risk for spinal injuries for sure, because they're falling from much bigger heights. Oh, there she is. Hello, my name's Hannah. I'm an ICU with SAS. Who have we got here? Oh, what's your name, hun?
Courtney.
Courtney, I'm Hannah. Where's your worst pain?
Like around the back.
The worst case scenario is that Courtney could have ongoing and life-changing injuries from doing what she loves most.
So did the horse roll on top of her?
Yeah, somersaulted. Yep.
Somersaulted on top?
Yep.
I'm worried she could never walk again, much less ride.
I'm just going to hold him here. 1, 2, 3.
Intensive care paramedic Bill is attempting to put an IV line into his epileptic patient, Tom.
Oh, you're okay. You're all right.
With his brain in chaos after several seizures, the 29-year-old is likely to lash out.
All right, brother. I'm just going to help you now.
Despite the risk to her safety, Tom's partner, Sarah, refuses to leave the father of four's side.
He hasn't hit his head? You said he hit his head?
Yeah,
okay. No worries.
Very badly.
Has he got any like big lumps or bumps in the back of his head at all?
No,
Do you want to take that bit
the
off?
front of his head, and it was his nose.
Oh, just the front of his head?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's in.
Like, see that quarter bit?
Yep.
Bang.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Tom has also bumped his head while having one of his seizures. I'm immediately concerned that Tom might have a small bleed on his brain, which could cause pressure and then therefore stop him breathing.
Do you reckon we'd be able to wake him up enough from here to get to the bed?
Yes, I do.
He's a big guy, and there's only myself, 2 paramedics in a really small space. So we've got to be really conscious about what's going to happen. And getting out of there and getting to the hospital is going to be the safest thing.
Baby. Tom.
Thomas!
Tom.
Thomas!
Hey.
Hello!
Hello. Baby.
It's the ambulance here, mate.
Yep, you getting help now?
You're doing really well.
All right, baby.
So Tom looks unconscious. So the fact that he can't talk to us, he might feel trapped in his body, but we know that some people can actually still hear us and still feel us.
Can we get you to stand up and sit on a bed for us?
To get Tom out of the house safely, him walking is best case scenario.
If I help you stand up, can you stand up?
Despite Tom's apparently unconscious state, the team try to help him to move to the stretcher.
If you hold on to my hands, you're all right, mate.
We're here,
Here, stand up.
Ready? Come on, Baba.
1, 2, 3.
Suddenly, Tom's legs buckle and he begins to wake up.
Bubs are up.
What, just keep... You're okay. Thomas, you're okay.
You got some new ink?
Yeah, I did. This one's just a couple of weeks old.
Has it got any meaning?
Working mums, Sally and Olivia, are back on shift together and catching up on Olivia's latest tattoos.
I've got 2 birds on there. One's sitting still.
Yep.
I feel like that's representative of my eldest daughter, Millie, and then the smaller bird that's flapping around, that's my 3-year-old that licks the floor and doesn't sit still for 5 seconds.
Olivia's passion for her 2 girls is matched only by her love for the job.
It's always been my dream to be a paramedic. I guess I was very lucky early on to know exactly what I wanted to do when I grew up. When I put my uniform on, Millie, my oldest daughter, looks and she goes, "Oh, Mum, is it your turn to go and say lives? How exciting." We need to mix the dry ingredients together.
Are these dry?
Yeah.
But juggling parenting with being a paramedic takes a team effort.
I'm so lucky that I've got a great husband and great family that help us raise our lovely daughters, Millie and Izzy, together.
Olivia's husband, Andrew, works part-time so he can be at home more with the girls.
That's something I was more than happy to do because I know this is something that Olivia is really passionate about. I'm extraordinarily proud of what she does.
Mum's a hero because she saves people's lives and she helps people get better.
Yeah.
That's it. Nice job.
But being a hero and a mum of 2 can be challenging.
Being a paramedic can be really intense at times. When I feel the stress, I can look down at my tattoos and remember that I can be resilient. I can manage being uncomfortable. I feel lucky that I'm in this position to be able to be there and save someone's life.
FA ambulance, tell me exactly what happened.
At the Emergency Operations Centre, a scared caller is on the line.
I've had pins and needles in my hands and arms. Yep. And it's gone to my feet.
The woman is terrified. She's having a stroke.
So you've got pins and needles in both hands and arms?
And my legs.
Okay.
I'm having trouble walking and keeping my balance. And I can't even really talk properly.
Exactly what time did these symptoms start? Thursday, okay.
So a 64-year-old with pins and needles and loss of balance since Thursday.
Worst case scenario for her would be that she had a stroke 4 days ago and hasn't done anything about it.
We've missed the window.
We've missed the window for optimal treatment options.
Let's hope she's okay.
Strokes are dangerous because they affect blood flow in the brain. If there are parts of the brain that don't receive adequate blood flow, they die. And when our brain tissue dies, it can't come back.
If this patient is having a stroke, she'll need life-saving treatment as quickly as possible.
Knock, knock, Di, it's the ambulance. Are you Di? Oh. Hi, Jasmine. So where is she? So tell me a bit of a story. What's been happening?
So on Thursday, I started to get very tingly in my right hand initially, in my fingertips.
Yeah.
And then it sort of gradually went up my arm, and then it started in this one. And then it's just got gradually a little bit worse. And it's like...
If it's a stroke that involves bleeding in the brain, then that bleeding's going to continue, which can include seizures and then coma and eventual death.
Can you tell me, Cord, so you're coming up to a jump, and did you go up and over the front of the horse?
He left a leg and I think he rolled over the top of me.
29-year-old elite equestrian Courtney is in agonising pain. Her 500-kilogram horse fell, crushing her, as her husband Paul and mum Karen watched in horror.
My concerns right away are a bit of a combination between the severe back pain and the clicks and crunches that are actually the bones rubbing together. It's pretty important that we don't move her at all.
Have you had some pretty gnarly falls before from horses?
I try not to.
This is the first one in a while. Is your horse okay?
I hope so.
Yeah? Yeah, all good?
I could see from her face alone that she was absolutely devastated. It was really sad to see the tears rolling. She's had an animal weighing half a tonne roll on top of her. She's in significant pain and she could have any number of injuries that we're unable to assess properly outside of hospital.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little feel around the back of your neck. Don't nod your head, okay? Just let me know with your voice.
Yeah.
If you feel any severe pain down the centre of your spine.
A fall like this can 100% be career-ending. And the worst case scenario, there's been competition riders that have been paralysed before.
I'm just going to very gently feel your belly. Just try to relax.
As well as spinal injuries, Courtney's at risk of internal damage from the crushing weight of her horse.
Kind of tight.
It feels tight, does it?
For riders like Courtney, the very top level of competition, I think they accept the danger in a sport like this and that they're only one bad fall away from never being able to ride again.
What just keeps it? You're okay? Thomas, you're okay?
Intensive care paramedic Bill and the team are struggling to move Tom to the ambulance.
You've had a seizure. We want to get you on the bed and off to hospital.
Multiple seizures have left the agitated 29-year-old slipping in and out of consciousness.
I reckon we just go green chair. It's going to be the easiest, I reckon.
We are still on high alert for Tom to potentially get aggressive because of that lack of oxygen to the brain.
Yes, I mean, seizure risk is still quite high, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to come under your arms, Thomas. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll chuck the O2 back on him.
Bill now needs to get Tom to hospital as quickly as possible.
Awesome. All right, ready to rock and roll to the Mac?
If he has a continuous seizure that isn't stopped for a prolonged period of time, that can lead to cell death in his brain, and that is irreversible.
We haven't regained full consciousness at all. It's extremely long downtime.
Not only is Bill worried for his patient's safety, he's also on high alert for his crew.
So the plan is if he gets quite agitated on the move, what I'll do is I'll administer 1 milligram IV midazolam to settle him down.
If you can imagine yourself in a closed box, driving down the road at 100 kilometres an hour, with a patient less than 20 centimetres away from you, he's a big guy, and for me or the other two paramedics trying to manage him would be extremely difficult. There is a real risk that you're the first person they see and potentially the first person they attack.
That last blood pressure was 110 on 70. I'll just keep an eye on that. Thomas, can you open your eyes?
So Tom still hasn't come around. His pupils are a little smaller than usual, and his respiratory rate is slowing down, which is definitely cause for concern.
Just going around the corner, Tom. And last blood pressure again was 110 on 80.
A team of doctors are on standby for Tom's arrival.
We know that the brain needs oxygen, it needs blood, and it needs nutrients. And the less oxygen they are getting, the worse the outcome. They can then turn into a coma, which can then lead to death.
We're going to go through the resus with this, no doubt.
When I touch things, like when I feel my chain, it feels different. It feels really odd. My fingertips are really, really odd.
64-year-old Di is experiencing strange tingling in her arms and legs.
It's just a different sensation. I touch a tissue and it feels
And is it
really
like
different.
that down here as
It is
well?
in my legs as well.
Sally and Olivia need to urgently work out whether Di is having a stroke.
Like I can lift my arms up. They're so heavy and I've just lost
strength.
All the strength.
The stoic grandmother waited 4 days to call 000.
So how old's this little one?
He's 2.
Di's daughter-in-law Jasmine and grandson Lennon rushed over when Di finally asked for help.
I am worried that she might be having a stroke. She looks very withdrawn, a little bit frightened, which is not like her. Immediately I'm thinking the worst.
Hold your arms out and can you hold them?
I can, but it's like...
They feel
really heavy.
We're doing a really good neurological assessment of Di. She's got good face symmetry. She's got no speech deficits.
And it's been like that since Thursday?
No, not all of this. No,
Okay.
It just started with the tingling in my right fingers on Thursday.
Okay.
She's got this arm heaviness. It's weird. I'm not sure what's going on. What's that about?
Your balance is okay?
I can walk, but my balance is not good. I just feel odd.
She could be having a stroke. She could have a brain tumour, which often mimics the symptoms of a stroke, or maybe an infection like meningitis that is affecting her nerves. It's a bit of a medical mystery. I think it's time that the paramedic detective comes out.
You're normally fairly fit and active. You look like a fit woman. Like, you get a lot of sun.
So I'm taking in everything that's going on, not only the words that she's telling us. I am thinking this woman looks after her grandson and takes care of this immaculate house. So there must be something really serious going on to stop her dead in her tracks.
Haven't been unwell with any kind of infection?
No, I had an infection on my finger, but that was nothing serious. Just
When was that?
It was on Monday, I reckon.
So I'm looking at Olivia and I can see, I think she knows what's going on. And she's giving me this look.
What?
As Sally's doing the assessment and I hear some of the things that Di's saying, that she had this finger infection. Arms just feel so heavy, aggressive tingling in her limbs. A light bulb goes off in my mind. I know exactly what's going on.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how severe is your pain now?
At the moment, probably maybe a 6 or a 6.5.
6.5?
29-year-old Courtney was crushed by her horse Rocky when he fell during a cross-country event.
There is an ambulance on the way with the stretcher. Can you just try and keep your head very still for me?
Intensive care paramedic Hannah is worried the brave rider could have life-threatening spinal and internal injuries.
What's bothering you the most right now? Hey? Your top half? Do you feel like you're struggling to take a deeper breath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, alarm bells are starting to ring for me because Courtney is a very slight person, especially in comparison to an enormous horse, and that she is finding it difficult to take a deep breath in can indicate a collapsed lung. So she needs imaging urgently.
We're basically going to just grab onto a piece of this each. On the count of 3, we're going to lift and push the stretcher underneath us, and then we'll lower her down onto it.
Courtney's mum, Karen, watches helplessly as the paramedics prepare to move her critically injured daughter.
When I look over at Karen, I can see how concerned she is for her daughter, with good reason. Because one wrong move from our end could really damage something in her neck if she sustained a fracture that's unstable.
All right, we'll go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and just stop there. And then we're going to go down. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to hold on to her head if you guys are happy to pull.
Just keep nice and still. I'm just going to slowly...
That's it. Relax your head, doll. Good job, Courtney. Do you feel like you're struggling to take a deeper breath?
Yeah.
Now that Courtney's spine is stable, Hannah's focus shifts to the rider's increasingly shallow breathing.
I'm really worried that Courtney could have a collapsed lung from a broken rib puncturing into her chest.
All right, I'm going to come sit next to you, Courtney.
If this is the case, her breathing is going to become increasingly difficult. This is a life-threatening emergency for sure.
Hey, what's your favourite movie?
Favourite movie?
Yeah.
That's a really hard one.
Flatmates Chris and Sam have been friends for a long time.
Well, you like Spice World, don't you? Remember that time I came home and you were just laying in your jocks watching Spice World?
I was not in my jocks.
Singing along to it?
I was not in my jocks.
I think you were.
But yes, I do remember.
Suddenly, a call gets Chris off the hook.
SA Ambulance Service, what's your name, please?
My name's Evie, but I'm calling on behalf of my mum. She can't really breathe very well. She's also got heart problems and her heart races on and off. She's just coughing and coughing now, which is quite scary.
63-year-old Aphrodite. Okay. Breathing problems?
As the boys race lights and sirens, the call taker stays on the line with Evie.
She's definitely not her normal colour.
Okay, reassure her that help is being arranged. I want you to watch her very closely. If she becomes less awake and vomits, quickly lay her on her side.
Did it say she had a history of asthma as well?
Yeah, it does.
I get really worried with these patients, especially with the background of the asthma, because without getting that adequate oxygenation, patients can go from very well to very unwell very quickly.
5 minutes away.
Severe asthma attacks affect 1 in 10 adult Australians. Over 350 die each year.
All right. There's going to be a lot going on here.
If it is life-threatening, we need to get some medications in and some oxygen into her as quick as we can to stop the progression. It must be absolutely terrifying not being able to breathe properly. It sounds horrible.
Hello. So I'm Sam, this is Chris.
Aphrodite's daughter, Evie, is anxiously waiting for help to arrive.
What's happening today?
She's got a chest infection. She also has asthma.
As I walk into the room, I see the patient and she's coughing and it appears like she's having a lot of difficulty breathing. At this point, I'm thinking all my fears have come true.
So when were you diagnosed with a chest infection?
This week?
5-6 days ago? Okay.
And also have this heart problem with the up and down.
Her heart goes really fast and stops and like fast and slow.
Sure, okay.
And the doctor said last time if that happens to call an ambulance straight away.
So what's the main reason for the call today? Is it the chest infection or the heart palpitations?
All of them.
Okay.
Evie's saying that her mum doesn't go to the doctor very often. She's had palpitations, she's got no diagnosis. How long has this been going on for? Does she have a heart condition that can turn life-threatening almost immediately? It can kill her quite quickly.
Push up against my hand with you. And push down. Yep. And you can feel that.
I can feel it, yeah.
Work out what would cause that.
Sally and Olivia are trying to solve the medical mystery behind the strange tingling sensations in Di's arms and legs.
This was the infected finger, was it?
I was trying to tell Sally with my eyes, but I was trying to like look at her like, oh, Sally, look, I know what this is.
What?
Guillain-Barré.
So she whispers to me, Guillain-Barré syndrome. Now it makes sense. This woman is an absolute genius that she's diagnosed this from the symptoms that we're seeing.
What's Guillain-Barré?
So it's a fairly rare condition that can come on after an infection where people feel this ascending level of pins and needles, paralysis, things like that.
Guillain-Barré is a progressive muscle weakness type disease where your own body attacks the lining around your nerves, which means that for the person, they start to lose sensation, they lose control of their limbs, even to the point that their breathing muscles may not work in the same way that they used to.
Not a lot of people get it, so it's great that you called us because it's something that we can't check for here and we can't tell you that, no, everything's going to be fine.
With this condition, the reason it's so scary is because there is no known cure. We don't know if these symptoms are going to get worse. My concern for Di would be that she is unable to breathe.
We're going to take Grammy in the ambulance just to see the doctor.
Di urgently needs to go to hospital for treatment by a team of neurological specialists.
If something was to happen to her, it would be huge for us. We'd all be just completely shattered. I honestly wouldn't have words to put into what she means to us and to our family.
What have you got there?
What have you got there?
Wow, the bear.
Lennon adores her.
She's very loved.
Bye, darling. Thanks, Jazz.
Can tell that Di's really concerned about her family. She doesn't want them to worry. So she's putting on a brave face, but she must be really afraid.
We are good to go.
Can you slow your breathing down a little bit, hon? Let's give you some more pain relief.
It's a nerve-wracking trip to hospital for intensive care paramedic Hannah and her patient Courtney.
We can give you another small little top-up just to help the ride, because you're going to have some bumps, all right?
the brave 29-year-old has suspected spinal injuries and a possible collapsed lung after a devastating riding accident.
Karen, did you see the accident?
She came up to the jump.
Yeah.
Courtney seemed to go over the top left of the horse and the horse came down over her.
How tall's your horse?
16.3.
It's very tall.
It's probably about 550 kilos.
Like half a ton then?
Yeah.
Has fallen onto you.
The worst thing a mother ever wants to see.
You are tough. All horse people are tough.
Hannah knows just how strong Courtney is being right now. When she was just 14, an horrific horse riding accident changed Hannah's life forever.
When the paramedics arrived, I remember just feeling so relieved that someone was there to help me. Several things really stood out to me, and that was just how calm and kind they were, which helped me to calm down and know that I was in safe hands.
Just really relaxed in your breathing, Quartz.
They made a massive impact on my life that day and influenced my career choice down the line.
Royal Adelaide, this is Prospect 51 IC crew. Just a heads up, we're coming to you with a 29-year-old rider who's come off and she's in some spinal precautions. We'll see you shortly.
It does feel really full circle to help someone who has been in a similar accident to me. Although it was so many years ago now, I do remember the shock and the fear of the entire process.
Just pulling in now, okay?
I'm really hoping that the x-rays don't show any spinal damage or that Courtney's broken her back. Because if she has, I know that this is going to change Courtney's life forever.
All right, just going to be a couple of bumps on the way out.
If she were told that she could never ride again, it would have an absolutely horrific effect on her life.
Now you stay nice and still, okay?
When were you feeling that pain last?
The chest pain. So just before I called the ambulance, about 5 minutes.
A chest infection and severe asthma has 63-year-old Aphrodite struggling to breathe. Paramedics Chris and Sam have just discovered that she could also have a deadly heart condition.
Have you had the chest pain investigated by a doctor or anything?
No. I think together with that and asthma has just, I don't know.
Yeah, just took
I'm just going to take a big picture of your heart, OK? You just relax.
Aphrodite's mentioned that she's got quite severe chest pain, so that obviously rings some alarm bells. So we need to get the heart monitor onto her quickly and find out exactly what her heart is doing.
The ECG shows no sign of abnormalities, but Aphrodite's worrying symptoms can't be ignored.
If you've been having this pain, you've had it a couple of times today, you've had a couple of episodes of palpitations, the safest thing would be to take you through to the hospital.
All right. We're bringing this on with us? Yeah. Yep. Does it look all right on me?
Cute.
Oh, no, I'm going to give you a coughing fit, aren't I?
What have you done? That's the opposite of what we're trying to do.
Sam and I both love to try and make the patients and their family laugh.
That's funny.
We're going to clear your chest out. You're fixed.
This gives them a sense of security knowing that if we're not worried, then neither should they.
Got some slippers?
Yes.
Jeez, I reckon Chris has got the same pyjamas as you as well.
And the same socks.
All right, we're going to put you in a full-blown asthmatic episode soon. I think we need to chill.
We've gone a bit over the top with Aphrodite. The laughter's triggered another coughing fit, so we might just need to dial it from 11, maybe just back down to 10.
Have you been in an ambulance before? You have? When was the last time you were in the ambulance?
Yes.
Years ago.
It's really nice to see the relationship between Aphrodite and her daughter Evie. A lot of our older patients, don't have family around and they just live by themselves, and when they have medical issues, there's no one there to support them or help them through it. So it's actually really lovely to see how much they care about each other.
Do you want me to get in?
I'll take you around this side.
In fact, Evie's emergency call may be saving her mother's life.
You okay, Mum?
Aphrodite's still got chest pain. Heart conditions can progress really quickly. If she is having some sort of cardiac event, things can change within a few seconds.
You've got that headache. Have you got pain in your neck, or is it just that heaviness? It's just the heavy?
No, I do have pain.
Sally and Olivia are taking 64-year-old Di to hospital after she started feeling heaviness and strange tingling sensations in her limbs.
If you had to give it a score out of 10?
At the moment, it's just this heaviness at the base of my neck.
Olivia is convinced the symptoms point to a rare and potentially deadly condition, Guillain-Barré. If she's correct, Di could become paralysed and stop breathing.
Guillain-Barré is a scary disease and there's no definitive cure. So I'm now getting worried. How quickly is this going to progress, considering it's already been 4 days? And how much time do we have to get her to the hospital?
You're all a close family. You've got a photo of the 9-month-old.
With so many unknowns, Sally tries to distract the doting grandmother from the situation.
Look at those blue eyes.
Like, being a parent was just the best, but being a grandparent, oh my God.
Love it?
Just the best, because you get to spoil them. That was a lot of the reason why I stopped work. I wanted to stop and have some time off.
Must be really frightening for Di. 3 days ago, she's in the garden, fit and healthy, and now she's potentially dealing with a life-threatening condition.
So what will happen is I'll hand over and we'll see what happens from here.
I really hope for Di's sake that she doesn't have Guillain-Barré syndrome, because in the short time that I've gotten to know Di, I really love this lady.
How are you feeling?
I'm okay.
You okay?
63-year-old Aphrodite is suffering from asthma and coughing fits. But it's her chest pain and heart palpitations that have triggered a trip to hospital.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Cyprus. She's great.
Cyprus. Ah, very good. Communication with any patient is huge. You need to be able to reassure them, and if you can make them feel at ease with you, then it's going to make them feel a bit better. How old were you when you came to Australia?
28.
28?
And I didn't want to come, but I come in for 3 years. I stay 35 years.
You spent more of your life here than you have over there now.
Glad if I was there.
Okay.
She misses over there.
Yeah, okay. As much as Aphrodite's come over to Australia and she's got some family here, her heart is still in Cyprus. People come to Australia from their own countries and embrace our culture and things like that, but a bit of their heart is always left behind.
They are the people, they are friendly, and the weather is good, and the beaches is good.
Yeah, good food?
Seriously,
Good food.
you wouldn't
Yeah,
defend
I'll
Australia
give you that
anymore?
one.
Seriously, I can't deal with this.
You can't deal. This is the truth.
The beaches are better in Cyprus, the food is better in Cyprus, even the people are nicer in Cyprus. Evie's having a good old giggle in the back, and it's starting to become pretty obvious. She's heard this argument a number of times over the years.
I think you should be on the tourism board for Cyprus.
I know, right?
You're selling it
Seriously.
well. She's selling it pretty hard and she's making it sound pretty good, to be honest.
What's the signature dish of Cyprus?
Souvlaki.
Souvlaki. I reckon Chris cooked some of that, but it wouldn't be as good as yours, I don't think. No way.
Maybe you can teach me.
All jokes aside, Aphrodite is still complaining that her heart feels like it's tearing. I really do hope Aphrodite's heart is okay and that this is all a complication to do with her chest infection.
Are you getting that pain again, or?
I mean, Aphrodite is the goddess of love after all, and we can't have her having a broken heart.
Did the horse roll on top of her?
Somersault.
It's been 7 weeks since Courtney was crushed by her horse Rocky as they warmed up for an elite equestrian event.
Can you just try and keep your head very still for me?
Hannah feared the 29-year-old could have suffered severe internal injuries and permanent spinal damage.
You are tough. All horse people are tough.
Extensive imaging revealed a collapsed lung, 11 fractured ribs, and 14 breaks in her spine.
Good boy.
Back at home, the tough horsewoman is on a long road to recovery.
You're being very brave.
Well, I tried to get on a horse yesterday.
Well, come on.
I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to be back down there around them, and yeah, it's what you do. It's what I do. I'm very lucky. I'm walking, I'm doing everything almost that I was doing, and I can return to competitions before the end of the year. In terms of what it could have been, I got off very lightly. Good boy, Rock.
Incredibly, Courtney has no qualms about returning to high-level competition.
It's definitely not my greatest fear, me getting hurt. My greatest fear is making a mistake and hurting the horses. They try so hard, and it is a partnership. You don't worry about yourself, you worry about letting your partner down.
Tom has epilepsy. He's had 4 seizures witnessed by the partner.
29-year-old epileptic Tom was found by his partner Sarah in an aggressive post-seizure state.
Do you reckon we'd be able to wake him up enough from here to get to the bed?
Yes, I do.
He gets a bit angry?
He's never angry, so I don't know.
Okay.
Bill and his team were in constant danger of Tom unintentionally lashing out.
What we'll do is we'll chuck the O2 back on him.
At hospital, doctors performed brain scans. Unfortunately, they were unable to find a definitive cause, so his treatment is ongoing. Tom hopes to be able to return to work as a renderer as soon as he can.
Have you had the chest pain investigated by a doctor or anything?
No.
Chris and Sam took 63-year-old Aphrodite to hospital to investigate her chest pain and heart palpitations.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Cyprus.
But on the way, they got some unexpected travel advice.
They are the people, they are friendly, and the weather is good.
Good food?
Seriously,
Good food? You want to
defend Australia?
I'll give you that one.
You can't deal with this. You can't deal. This is the truth.
After a short stay at hospital, the Cypriot grandma has been cleared of a serious heart problem and is back home caring for her family.
What's been happening?
So on Thursday, I started to get very tingly in my right hand. It's just got gradually worse, and it's like in my feet and kind of up in my legs.
64-year-old Di called the paramedics when she felt strange sensations in her arms and legs and feared she was having a stroke.
Haven't been unwell with any kind of infection?
No, I had an infection on my finger.
But a recent infection led Olivia to diagnose a rare nerve disease that can paralyse the body.
Guillain-Barré.
The much-loved grandma was rushed to hospital with fears the condition could spread to her lungs and stop her breathing.
Do you want to come play trains?
Today, Di is recovering with her loving family. Guillain-Barré syndrome was confirmed and Di spent 10 days in hospital.
The weakness in my hands and the loss of use of my arms was pretty scary. The thing that probably scared me the most was, would I be able to lift up my grandkids again? Because I just didn't have the strength to do that.
Miraculously, Di pulled through.
It was a really big shock because she's the caretaker of the family, so when that role changes, it's really scary for us. It's amazing to have Di back home. We're so happy.
Di credits the quick-thinking paramedics' diagnosis for giving her a fighting chance to beat the disease.
The rehab I'm having is making a difference. We look after our little Lennon every Thursday and I can lift him up again. I'm going to have a new little grandchild in August as well, so hopefully we'll get back to being able to be a normal old Grammy again.
Good job.
Good boy.
There we go.